Hall at Wits University in preparation for a night vigil. We now cross over to our reporter Lopang Alamu. Lopang, thank you very much for joining us. What's the mood like at Solomon Mahlangu right now?
Well, thank you so much for your time once again. The mood is, the students are feeling quite confident after the former student leaders and current student leaders made an announcement to say that the next 2 days, so that is Wednesday, Tuesday and Thursday and Wednesday as well, there will be no classes. There's a total shutdown here at the university until the assembly meeting on Friday. So that is the mood at the moment.
Now, Lopang, earlier there was police around the campus. Is there any security personnel at this point in time? And what about the Wits management? Are they there?
Yes, there's still police presence on campus. I walked around the campus earlier on and even now after the announcement by the former student leaders, and there was still police presence on the campus. There's also private security presence, as you know, they're walking around, checking out the situation. They say that they're just doing their job, because I had a chat earlier on with them to ask them how are they feeling, aren't they, tired, and what is it that they make out of this whole situation. But they say that they're very exhausted, but they were just hired to do their job. And management is also around, but of course the Vice Chancellor was not here. The spokesperson was also not here. The only management that was here is the former student leaders who are mediating between the students and the management of the university.
Now, Lopang, who do you have there as a guest? We understand that you've been speaking to various people that have been in attendance at this congregation that the students had a little bit earlier on.
Well, I've got with me Mashishi, who's a former student leader at the University of the Witwatersrand. Mos, thank you so much for your time. Shut down tomorrow, Thursday, and then on Friday it's the assembly.
Yes, we've spent the day on this campus mediating and discussing with students and the administration to find a common approach that can create space for proper dialogue. We've depart from the premise that the request or the demand by students for free access to education or free education, it's a legitimate demand, and that it needs to be given proper hearing. However, we also realize that because of the tensions that have been on the university, there's been polarization on campus, even conflict, which has led even to violence. So we've felt as former leaders that we have a role to play in trying to find the middle ground and help the students to articulate their struggle. We're not here to take over their cause. This is their struggle, but we thought that it was important to create a bridge for them to be able to articulate what is actually something that should not just be a student issue, but is a society issue. And we need to elevate this matter so that all of us in society must be concerned with the well-being and the future of this generation. And their future is secured only if we can guarantee that they can have access to higher education.
And now, earlier on, you announced that, of course, there will be no classes tomorrow and Thursday until Friday after the assembly meeting. Now, I want to know, so you said the deal between management and you was the fact that there should be no security personnel on campus, there should be no police presence on campus at all.
Yes, there's a number of there's a framework that we've negotiated with the university, and that is substantially agreed. Of course, the Vice Chancellor is currently busy consulting with the council, with the Chancellor, and he's still doing that, and we need to give him the space to do his consultation. But in principle, there's an agreement that a university is not a place for police. We need to reclaim the university back and make sure that we don't have violence or confrontation or tension on the university. The students have also agreed that they should not do anything that creates a basis for police to come back on campus. So, of course, how we conduct ourselves, how they conduct themselves, so it's going to be quite important. We thought that it's important to create these 3 days to create a space for dialogue and focus on this key issue that the students are crying about. So the university in the next 2 days will be engaging as a university community, the lecturers, the academics, the workers, the students, which will culminate on Friday in a student in a university assembly, where we hope by then the university will have a common position on this issue that can be articulated to the world, because the tensions around campus should not be between academics and students, because all of them should support the call for access to education. The issue is, how does the university engage with the government that has the ultimate say in how this matter can be resolved? So we need to unify the university to ensure that there is consensus in this community, and as a community they can move forward.
But what happens now if a consensus is not reached on Friday?
We're not that pessimistic. If you look at the engagements we've had a very constructive day today. We started with police on campus with rubber bullets, whatever it was. We had 2 students who were arrested this morning. We've negotiated those students' release. They are now released. We've now had a dialogue between the university. The university has agreed on these minimum requests that were made to ensure that we can create a space. We were here when we were addressing students. I think the mood is positive. I think that we can create an environment of constructive engagement between all parties, because in fact the students and the university are actually on the same side on this matter. We just have to bridge that gap and ensure that as a university community we can move forward. This university is our university, and it must be reflective of the needs and the demands that are pertinent in the young people in this country.
Thank you so much for your time, Mos. That was Mos Mashishi, a former student leader here at Wits University, telling us so much about the fact that the students here were very confident, expressing the fact that these students
Lopang, thank you very much. We'll have to leave it there. That was our reporter Lopang Alamu joining us live from Wits University, where students will be holding a night